I'm Amy Tobin, and I'm here with Jean Robert de Cavel at his beautiful restaurant, Jean Robert at Pigall. I'm so glad you could talk with us today.
Welcome, Amy. Welcome to Pigall.
Well, you know, do you ever wake up and wonder which restaurant am I at today? You've got them all over the city.
I'm always here every evening, so,
Yeah.
Pigall is definitely the place when I still cook, I try to stop by everywhere or talk to everybody in every restaurant, every chef. Right now we just launched, the current with our warehouse, so I'm spending a lot of time there at the commissary, make sure all of the party were running well. But
You got a lot of work on your hands. When you moved to Cincinnati to take the maisonette job, did you ever dream that you would be this imbued into the restaurant scene, that you would really have such an impact?
No, not once, because our idea was not really staying in Cincinnati. I mean, when I took the job, it was really because of the challenge of the maisonette, because of what the job was, and because working for family-owned restaurant. But Cincinnati was definitely not the place we want to move to. And then we were really planning to be there for 3 to 5 years, and then either go back to Europe, and then either stay on the East Coast. And it was never in my mind. My idea was not. It was such an opportunity, running a 5-star restaurant,
Yeah.
but Cincinnati was not an attraction to us whatsoever at the time.
Well, it's funny because it seems like the minute you moved here, this community just opened up its arms and hugged you. I mean, you were so accepted right away. And I don't know, this is a hard question to ask you, but what do you think it is that made you so endeared to the population here?
I don't know. I think it was probably because of. You never know, because nothing was calculated. Nothing
Right,
was done.
no,
with
it just sort of
nothing was
happened.
done. Nothing was done with. I didn't have any goal. I mean, my goal was just taking over this restaurant and then make sure I will respect what people used to enjoy about the restaurant, and also turning into more contemporary. I mean, it was time. It was time to change the style of food. I mean, the food was always very good, but I think it was time to change the food. The style of food was getting a little older, and it was time for them. It was perfect timing. It was perfect timing for the chef to retire, because he was there for 30 years, and then having a younger chef coming, it was actually very good for the restaurant. I think it was actually very good for the community. I think, and people who did love the maisonette, did enjoy the maisonette, realized the food start getting a little updated and need to be changed. I mean, it was not about the quality; it was just about the style.
Right.
We don't design car the same way we did 30 years ago.
Right.
So
You can
that's
admire the classics, but you're ready to move on to the modern car. Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons I think, and I don't know if one of the reasons I think people got very wonderful and opened their doors to me. I think one of the reasons because I respect their tone and I respect the maisonette, and I didn't came with an idea of I'm going to change everything. No, I came with a very laid back attitude by saying I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to change what needs to be changed, but also I'm going to also keep the food the way certain things that people want. I mean, the Caesar salad, and it was a fish on crust, for example. It's very classic, very 1970, but people love it. And
Right.
I never take that away from the menu, because I feel like, that's what people want. The one who want it, they should have it. And make sure it was good, and then people who want something different, they were able to get the more contemporary menu. And I think it was also, it was a very good, and I didn't do it on purpose. I just did it because that's the way I felt it I had to do, because you work for a restaurant who's been around for 50 years, and then you don't want to change everything. And change are funny, because as a human being, we want change and we don't want change.
Yeah.
We always fight with that all the time.
Yeah, it's
if
true.
you say the same thing, I mean, our customer, it's always the same thing in our business. We get affected by that many times, because people say, when are you going to have a new menu? But then you take off something away, then everybody complains because it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And it's always something, in any restaurant it's like that, and so people want to see and change, but they like also not having change. It's kind of it's balance in the.
But that was what you did to the menu, which was brilliant.
I think that's one of the reasons.
You say that a couple of times so far you've said, well, it wasn't on purpose or it wasn't a plan, but clearly you've got a finger on the pulse of what people do like and what people do, are looking for. So it may be by accident, but it's a skill that you've got. And when you opened this restaurant, how important was the menu plan, the ambiance? Did you know, here's what people are missing, here's what people are asking for?
No, it was really. It was really a step after step. I mean, of course, it was an amusing story too, because we were planning. I knew it was time for me to leave the maisonette, not because I didn't enjoy it anymore, but I realized it was an age circumstances when I realized I always want to open my own restaurant, and like I mentioned, I want to be there for maximum 5 years. I was going to my 7 years, and I felt like it was time for me to do something, because then after, what do? You're looking for another job somewhere, live in the city, and then the age have a big importance in our business. And I always want to do my own restaurant. I said, don't wait too late to do it. So I was really looking to do something, and then that's when I realized I went to Connecticut, visit a friend, and I was really want to do something in Connecticut with a friend of mine who was working with me many years before in New York City. We were together. And then I came back and I started putting this idea of opening my own place, putting a business plan together, knowing what I want to do. And then by really coincidence, I went to the hairdresser next door to Pigall, and I realized this place was closed. And it was really a coincidence. I mean, I called the owners. I know one of the owners of the restaurant. I called him, and then we visited the place on Monday. It was on Friday. And it was on Friday when I walked, because I know it was not ready at the hairdresser. It was kind of an amusing story. And I walked, because they just changed the business. It's called Pigall. It was a barbecue, and it was actually nice. We were there a few months before for lunch, and it was okay. I mean, it was funny the way they turned this restaurant. But then I realized it closed, and I was surprised because it was an Easter weekend, and so for the restaurant to be closed, I'm like, something must be wrong there, because you don't close a restaurant after 3 months in an Easter weekend when business start coming back. And then I call him, and then I came and visit, and then it's history. Then I could not. And for me to take over something like Pigall's, which to me, what we enjoy about Cincinnati, we enjoy the people, and we enjoy. It's a very livable city. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think nobody can tell me, it's an excited city to live. No, it's not. I love the beach. I love the mountain. You don't have that near enough, close enough.
No water.
No water. Beside the river. But one thing we can never take away from Cincinnati, it's a very livable city. I mean, I see with Annette, who enjoy many arts forms, and then she's able to go to the opera. She's able to go to the symphony. And in New York, you have all of it, but sometimes you don't have the time. Right. To be able to go. Here, at least when the Broadway show comes, you have everything a big city have, and so you can really make plan, and because you have the time to make this plan. Like sometimes you go in a big city, you say, I will go, and then the time you don't go, and then the show is gone, and then I miss it, Yeah. And but in Cincinnati, I think it's a very nice, livable city. So I think, and after that, Cincinnati. So what we enjoyed was the people, and we enjoyed what the city was, what the people of the city and the city feel. And so when Pigall was for sale somewhere, then I felt very excited to be part of it, because I thought, it would be nice to bring it back. Because after many years being at the Maisonette, I always used to hear Maisonette has always been the first restaurant in town, but Pigall was like the more French, more because they were the chef owners with his wife in the front and him in the back as a chef. And so the history really pushed me to really going, step farther, and then here we are, And I think reopening that was really, but I did it very very without goal, but then I got very excited about that.
Yeah. And, well, maybe it's not a goal, but there's an instinct. There's something. Oh yeah,
guiding you it's just and then we open. And one of the things I always want to do a bistro, French bistro, and I think in Cincinnati that's something that was missing. It was missing because I think people, and when you go to Europe, when people go to visit France, that's where they like to go. They don't, not everybody can afford fancy restaurant, but you like to go to a restaurant when it's kind of like cute on you have a lot of things on the walls. It's a typical the French bistro, and I think it was missing in Cincinnati. And of course, after being open for a year, we were extremely busy. But I was always looking, and the same thing. I went to Starbucks, have coffee, and then I saw this little place empty, and I said, this place is kind of interesting. I called my friend who's in the real estate business. We went there, and of course, people recognized me right. I mean, the gentleman who was tried to rent the place recognized me right away and said, are you look? And I'm like, no, I'm just looking. I didn't want to say anything. And then it was a perfect spot. I mean, and the way the bistro is today is exactly the same way that I saw it the first time I went inside the building. And it was one of the things I really enjoyed with this little bistro is at the time it was no little restaurant downtown. It was either some chain restaurant or either some beautiful restaurant.
Right.
But it was not really like it's very. And I felt like I was very lucky to open that. And many of my colleagues tried to call us many times and say, where is this place? I don't see. It's nothing on Vine Street. I don't see where. Right in front of the hotel, but no, because it was never a restaurant, was a pizza place, was a sandwich place, was a deli for many years, and I think it's one of the most cute neighborhood feel restaurant for downtown area.
Well, it's